Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video today. We have an important topic to talk about. You have to become who you are afraid to be. The fear we don't face become our limits, right? So what does it mean to become who you are afraid to be? Well, you need to ask yourself that because when when you have that idea of who you know that you can be, who you know that you can be, a fearful thought will arise. It's always like that. We're afraid of what we don't understand, and the unknown part or field of that potential future can be understood until we start walking towards it, right? So we're kind of acknowledging ourselves of who we can be. What's the what's our greatest capability and ability? You see, if we study a little bit the work of great ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, he distanced himself a little bit from other philosophers when he started studying nature. And he was studying like what's the difference between a live human being and a corpse. And he noticed, well, something is missing, right? They're made out of same materials, but something is missing. So what is missing? He noticed, well, the only thing that is missing is a psyche. So later they translated the word psyche into soul, because obviously there were sources from their past. If we go into ancient Egypt, we can find a lot of talk about the soul, the teachings of ancient alchemy. So we recognize that a live human being has a soul. So he was then studying what's the purpose of the soul. He noticed, well, if an eye has a soul, the purpose of the soul of an eye is a sight, right? Is that it allows an eye to see. So what's then a purpose of a human soul? A soul that allows you to experience that human physical experience. He said that the purpose of the soul is to expand its capabilities, abilities, and reach its highest potential. So we need to ask ourselves, what does it mean? What does it mean? If I need to become who am I afraid to be, I need to discover what am I capable of doing, right? And we are all unique beings here, capable of many incredible things. So we need to ask ourselves how much we are actually wandering in possibilities of our capabilities. How much we are wandering in that. Asking ourselves, well, do we take time for that? Because we're living busy lives, right? So we need to step outside of that busy rushing, busy being busy. How many people are busy being busy, right? We need to step outside of that rush so we can take time on reflecting how much we are capable of. Because there was a time in the past where you've done the impossible. Can you remember that? You've done the impossible. We've all done something like that, right? We've all done something that people said to us that it's not possible. But we did it. Somehow we did it. There was a voice within ourselves that told us to keep up, to trust the process, to keep searching for the ways, for the possibilities. And you've noticed that you're actually capable of doing that. So capability then is is the potential of how much can we expand ourselves. Then ability is how well can we express this potential, right? Ability then means to develop virtues and skills that can allow us to express our capabilities. And that's something that we may be afraid of. That's something we may be ashamed of. So we need to know our emotions a little bit better to see what is holding us back. Because when I've started making these videos, I was so ashamed of being in front of the camera. Like, who am I? I was like, who am I? Right? Who am I to talk about this? But then I've noticed that my life is an interesting story, and maybe it can help someone. Maybe it can help someone. So if I share my story, if I share what I've learned on my journey, maybe it can help someone. So when I've started making these videos, I've recognized, well, it's like talking to a therapist, because sometimes it's like talking to myself in front of a camera. So it's really therapeutic. And it helped me to overcome my shame. It helped me to overcome the fear, like what people will say. And it also helped me to expand my ability of self-expression. Because it's much easier for me to express myself through art, because I produce or create something that is there, but I don't need to talk about it. Right? So it's much easier for me to make an art. It's like an easy path. But then talking about it, being in front of the camera, or talking on stage, or things like that, those were hard things for me. And doing that helped me to overcome those emotions, to become actually more familiar with those emotions. So we do things anyway, doesn't matter what level of shame or fear or any kind of break that is kind of holding us back we feel. Because those are not our emotions, those are emotions of our ancestors that were unresolved, right? And that's how we start expanding and pushing the boundaries of our abilities. So if you truly want to win in life, if you truly want to experience what you're aiming towards, you need to expand a little bit your capabilities, right? You need to build some skills, some virtues. Virtues are what? Virtues are good habits, like a habit of self-control, for example, a habit of courage. Courage is a habit. How's that? Well, we do things courageously because we decide to do things courageously, even though we sense a great amount of fear. But like Plato said, courage means to know what not to be afraid of. So we recognize that we actually want to do something that is important to us, but we are afraid of doing that. And then your mind will start searching for possible reasons why you shouldn't do it, because your main focus is on fear, and you may start trusting that. And that's the moment when we need to actually decide to differentiate between the voice of the mind and the voice of the soul. So what's the voice of the soul? Well, the voice of the soul is that intuitive feeling that tells us that actually we need to move, to break through that fear, to cross that river of change, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says beautifully, to cross the river of change. You know that on the other side there's more joyful you, more abundant you, more emotionally intelligent you, happier you, blissful you, more creative you. But then the river of change is the all these noises of the mind, all these reasons of society, right? Be reasonable, be realistic. It's not possible. Look, nobody in our family did it. So rather, do what you've been told to do, or whatever it is. But there's a feeling within you that is saying to you that something is undiscovered and you need to discover it. Only you can discover it. There's a feeling within you that is saying that only you can discover it, whatever is calling you. And you shouldn't ignore that. You shouldn't ignore that feeling. And that's how you start walking towards the version of yourself you are afraid of becoming. So why you're afraid of becoming that version of yourself? Because it's unfamiliar and you're afraid of losing what you have right now, because it gives you a sense of security, a sense of you feel those things are familiar to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you would take a scale of satisfaction, like how fulfilled you are with your life, from 1 to 10, that answer, if you're really honest with yourself, will tell you what to focus on, right? Do you want to stay where you are, or do you want to become who you're meant to be? How satisfied you are with your life. And there's many reasons you may want to stay there, many reasons. But on the other side, there's many reasons why you want to cross that river, why you want to become who you're afraid to be. And only you can decide to do that. It's great to have a support, to build a system in your life that can be supportive on that process, to keep the balance in your life. For example, how much work is enough of work, so you don't drain yourself out, right? It's something I needed to learn in my life, because I'm doing many things. I'm painting, I'm making these videos, and I'm making videos where there are paintings, something you're familiar with on my channel, and there's a lot of work behind it. There's many hours of work behind it. So then I needed to find a balance between that and traveling and taking time for myself and being active, going outside on my bike and being with with my family and so on. So we need to find the balance that works perfectly well for us, that is like this is what truly resonates with me. When I have enough of this, I do this, right? So we are keeping balance. We need to have a certain system of self-care. So we nurture ourselves. Like I said, we take care of our physical bodies by being active, stretching our muscles, going on a massage if you prefer. It's a great release. Taking care of nutrition, making sure that you're eating right, taking care of drinking enough of water. It's important for your brain, for your body. You're made out of 70% out of water, right? Then you need to make sure that you're feeding your mind with information that can empower you to become who you are meant to be. And for that, you need to constantly searching the right sources that can help you to get there, right? It's not a hard job if you know how to follow your intuition, because intuition will guide you to the right books, to the right information, to whatever you need to know. And you already know that because you're doing that job. And maybe right now you are in the middle of that process. Maybe you're just in that river, and it may feel hard and you may see no results, and you may be afraid of what will happen then. What's going on right here? It's a bit bumpy, right? Maybe shaky a little bit. But that inner voice is saying that that's just something you need to overcome. You need to overcome doubt and step into that virtue of courage, right? And that's a practice, it's a workout. I'm practicing courage. I'm practicing being courageous about the project of myself. Right now I am my project, right? I have the spheres that are kind of preventing me from becoming who I'm meant to be. But with all those fears in my mind, there's a voice of the soul that is saying to me that I just need to do it anyway. So we start to, like I said before, differentiate between the voice of the mind and the voice of the soul, of the heart, of your real authentic self. And once you're able to find the difference, you will be able to ask yourself, like, oh, who is talking right now? Who is guiding me right now? In psychiatry, there's a known practice where you give name to that inner voice, so we can find the difference between your real authentic sensation or knowing or guidance and that mental monkey mind or inner critic or inner chatter or whatever may be active within you, just so you can gain some awareness around, everything that's happening within you. And it will help you to walk on that path with greater understanding. Why are you doing that in the first place? Because there's a lot of garbage in your mind, a lot of unuseful information. So you need to learn to declutter your mind with meditation, with the right practices that can help you to let go and detach from the stuff that are not helping you. It's easy to be distracted right now. You go on social media and you forget about your mission, you forget about what you're working on. So you need to have a great focus on your priorities and know the reason why you're doing the work. Know the reason why you're doing the work. So, my friends, you're capable. You're capable, and don't give up on that, because you know that you deserve. You know that you deserve anything that you're working for, that you're aiming towards, and you know that you're supported on that process. So don't give up. The only failure in life is when you quit, right? When you give up. So don't do that. My friends, I will leave you here. I hope you found something valuable. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. And I want to say thanks to everyone who decided to support my art in my Etsy shop. I draw my passion. With that, you're supporting this mission. Thank you so much. And till next time, one love.